and welcome to this very special process video. So you'll see here that for this layout I'm going to be using products from the We Are Memory Keepers High Five collection. These products were provided to me by a cherry on top because I am guest designing for them this month. So I got these wonderful, awesome thickers. I love them. They're from the High Five collection. I'm going to use these buttons and ephemera and some of the papers from the collection for this layout. I am hosting as part of my guest design spot this month. I'm going to be hosting 7 days of challenges on the Cherry on Top message board, and part of those challenges is going to be a couple of process videos. So there will be definitely 2, possibly 3, and this is the first one. Now this goes along with a recipe challenge that I am hosting on their message board today, starting today, and I'm going to go ahead and grab my paper and I'll tell you what that recipe challenge is going to be. So the ingredients to my recipe challenge is going to be 3 pattern papers, 2 scraps or 2 sheets of 6x6 paper, 2 alphabets, some die cuts, and some mist or ink. So those are the required elements to your layout. If you would like to play along with the recipe challenge, I will leave a link below to the Cherry on Top message boards. So if you play along, your layout needs to be posted into their gallery and onto the challenge submission thread on the message board. But if you need directions, if you need to know how to find the message board or the specific threads, you are more than welcome to contact me. I'm pretty easy to find on Instagram or Facebook. You can private message me. You can direct message me on Instagram. You can leave me a comment here if you're interested in participating, and I will get in touch with you and get you set up to be able to participate. I would love to have as many people participate as possible. That would be so much fun. The challenges go for 7 days, so they are all due by next week, next Wednesday. And it's going to be a really, really fun time. I'm giving away 5 gift certificates, $5 gift certificates to the Cherry on Top store. I also have some points that I can give away, and yeah, so it's going to be a really, really fun time. So I haven't really talked about my layout too much because I think that my process here was pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Nothing out of the ordinary, and I didn't have a lot to say about it. This layout was very kind of easy and simple to put together. It's a very nice designed layout. You are more than welcome to scrap lift this design if you'd like for the challenge. I'm right now just cutting some ephemera pieces from the 6x6 pad. I will say that I love 6x6 pads for this very reason. A lot of them come with the cut apart sheets shrunk down, and those cut apart sheets shrunk down make great ephemera pieces, great journaling boxes. I really think you can get a lot out of a 6x6 paper pad. So I definitely wanted to include a 6x6 paper into my layout design. I also grabbed a little bit of products from my stash. So I grabbed some LE Studio papers, or LE Studio alphabets as my second alphabet. So my first alphabet is that outdoors one, the We Are Memory Keepers alphabet, and then I also grabbed some LE Studio from my stash to use as well. I really, really love this We Are Memory Keepers collection, and it makes me really sad that they're not going to be making. The word on the street is, the info that's going around is that this is their last paper collection that they're going to do, that probably they're just going to do things like their punch boards and different things. So, but I think it's gorgeous. I love, love, love this collection. It's perfect for boys. It's perfect for pictures here of outdoors. So these are my children and my nieces and nephews, and they were all just playing on these rocks. And the water there is really shallow, and there were 3 adults with them, so they were fine. Perfectly safe. And this is by my house, and I love this area. A lot of times you'll see me post photographs of this park and this area on my Facebook, and I will also do lots of pictures there. I take pictures there quite often. So these are little buttons. They're called plastic buttons, but they're actually more like a flare, and they say some really cute, fun things. I also decided that I was going to incorporate raccoons into my layout. There are no raccoons in my photograph. There's no story related to raccoons, but there are raccoons in our area, and these were all outdoor photos. So I decided I was using those adorable raccoon ephemera pieces out of the collection. And as you can see here, I added some flair, and flair is not on the recipe challenge. I am absolutely allowing everyone to add extra pieces, extra things that they would like to use on their layout. Just those 5 things are the required elements, and then you can add whatever else that you want to make your page yours and to keep with your style of scrapbooking. You see there that I cut apart some of those ephemera pieces. I felt like the raccoon on the right needed something to ground him. He needed somewhere to be walking on. So what I did was I took kind of what would be like a scrap. So there was a punch out that came out of the middle, and then there was this frame. And I decided to cut the frame up and go ahead and use it as little pieces sticking out, giving my raccoon somewhere to land, somewhere to be grounded to. So the other thing I want to point out here is that I'm going to pull a couple things from my stash. These are Queen & Company iridescent bubbles. You can find them in the Cherry on Top store, and they're adorable. And I'm also going to cut the bottom off of this banner piece because I didn't like the banner part of it. I just wanted it to be a nice square. I'm inking all of my edges with Vintage Photo Distress ink because I pretty much ink all of my edges all the time with Vintage Photo Distress ink. I actually just had to re-ink up my ink pad because it was getting pretty dry on me. And I've had it for, ages, years and years. So I took some of these little pieces of like ephemera that look like leaves or little branches, and I put them around a couple of spots to help to create my 3 clusters. I like to have the same types of elements 3 different places around my layout. These little iridescent blue bubbles match perfectly this collection, giving it just a little bit of sparkle, which I really wanted. The last recipe element and the last thing I'm going to do on my layout is to add some Dylusions white linen ink spray. And I don't know, all of a sudden it seems like all of my ink sprays don't want to splatter when I use my hands. So I have started to grab from my little jar by my desk a glue pen. I think it might even be dried up. I don't know. It's in there. And I started using it to get better splatters. It just seems like all of a sudden almost all my ink bottles have decided they don't want to splatter for me. So that's my solution to that little dilemma I run into. So if you have trouble with your ink splatters, just grab, a glue pen and toss it. Use that to toss your ink around. And now we'll complete this layout. I hope to see many of you on the Cherry on Top boards to play along with my challenges and maybe win a gift certificate. And I hope that you have a wonderful day. Bye!